welcome the panelists for this first session after the inauguration. We have with us three very eminent panelists, and we hope that a short while later the minister will join us. We have for this particular session Dr. of course Ashok Khosla himself. You already heard him in the morning about the challenges that we are facing. We have Mr. John Pontin, OBE, who is co-founder and trustee of Converging World from the United Kingdom. And we have Rintu Thomas, who is an award-winning filmmaker and who has produced a very thought-provoking documentary called Timbuktu, which is actually a record of a very unusual experiment in ecologically sustainable livelihoods that the organization has been involved with. My association with, of course, the whole aspect of ecology and ecological sustainability derives from my experience as India's chief negotiator on climate change in the very tumultuous discussions and deliberations leading up to the Copenhagen summit, which was not much of a summit, as we all know. What we are now celebrating as the Paris Agreement, which is at least an international consensus acknowledging that there is, in fact, a challenge of climate change and that humanity needs to do something about it. Also linked to that is something which was also mentioned in the presentation made by Dr. Khosla, the adoption of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Again, international consensus on the importance of these goals and the time frame within which they have to be achieved, that is up to 2030. Again, a very laudable achievement. So these two are very path-breaking agreements. And since then, we have had some smaller agreements relating to, for example, HFCs, the hydrofluorocarbon, emissions from the airline sector. So there is reason, I think, for us to be somewhat more optimistic for the future. But I think we have reached that level of optimism not by raising our sights to the higher level, but actually lowering our sights to a much lower level. This is the source of the optimism, because we have actually set ourselves for achieving so little that whatever we have been able to do actually appears to be very path-breaking, so as I said. What we are facing today, and I think this was very eloquently put forward by Dr. Khosla himself, we are facing actually a planetary emergency. That is the only way to describe it. And the reason why we are facing a planetary emergency is because of the fact that we are living on an ecological overdraft, again, a simile that Dr. Khosla used. I see a great importance of having this meeting here because, frankly, India has strayed away from what has been 1,000 years, in fact, commitment, a cultural, in fact, commitment to ecological growth, to sustainable growth. Why? Because you look upon nature, traditionally in India, you look upon nature as a source of nurture, as a mother who nurtures you. And the sense that from the mother you must not take more than actually can sustain her reproductive capabilities. I think we have the minister, so let me extend a very warm welcome to you, sir. So, Mr. Minister, let me extend a very warm welcome to you. We have just actually started the session, and this session is on the infrastructure and impacts on forests, land, and soils, and optimizing the trade-offs between efficiency of the economy and productivity of nature. And I was just, in my opening remarks, saying that, you know, India has had a very long civilizational tradition of treating nature as a mother, as a source of nurture, and a very strong tradition that you never should take from nature more than nature is able to regenerate. So this kind of ecological balance is something very fundamental to our culture. And we have strayed away from it. We strayed away from it because we have adopted a strategy of growth, which is an extractive strategy of growth. It is a strategy of growth which is based on what I call a once-through production process, where you take raw materials, you process it, you have products which come out of it, and this goes on in endless linear fashion. It does not come back into the production process. It's the same thing with consumption. If you remember, in the 30s, there used to be a great value attached to German goods because they were supposed to be very durable. They were very hardy, tough. Japanese goods were derided because they used to be not very good quality, and they used to break down very quickly. Of course, that has changed dramatically. But what we have today is that instead of durability, disposability is the major characteristic of our consumption. You don't like things which are durable. You don't like things which can actually stay with you for a long time. You always want something new, and whatever is old is in fact rejected. There is no reuse of material. So we are locked into a production process and consumption patterns which inherently are ecologically not sustainable. And unless that changes, we are not really able to think in terms of a future which is ecologically sustainable. Now here, it has been mentioned here of the trade-off. Trade-off, we always hear, yes, ecology is very important, yes, environment is very important, but you know, development is also very important, livelihoods are very important. Frankly, this is a false choice. There is no trade-off. In fact, the possibility of ensuring livelihoods for future generations is dependent upon your ability to have a sustainable growth strategy. Without that, we will run into a dead end, and I think we are fairly close to that dead end. Now, here, of course, the session will be focusing attention mainly on the infrastructure and how it impacts on soil, on water. We will get into that discussion very soon, but I think perhaps we would begin by requesting Excellency, our Minister, to please give us your inaugural address. Minister, sir.